Thank you, Pat, and congratulations. Pat has his award. This is the award that will be hung in Powell's cabin in honor of Pat Webb. At this time, I'm going to call Danny Williams up to say a few words about his father, Danny Williams Sr.
Thank you, David. I knew this was going to get here sooner or later. Tommy Armour once said, someone asked him, how do you know you're choking up? He said, well, when you reach up to open your collar and it's already open, you know you're in trouble. I know my dad would be very honored to be following. Last year took in Lou Barbaro and coming in with Pat Schwab, whose father was also a pro, with Harry Schwab, right, Pat? And a lot of class there, and all the other fellows that are in the hall already. It impressed me that a fellow like Lou Barbaro came in last year, and my dad followed them because they were so similar to me in so many ways. They had great golf swings, just natural, smooth, like we'd all like to be. And they were really fine teachers. They taught natural methods, and I'm glad to see that we're getting a little bit back to the feel of this swing, rather than the books all the time, and positions. And I think it's, my dad was, to me, it should be an example to all pros. He was a pro to his club, number one. He was there all the time. He gave the members service. He was dedicated to the club. And he was certainly a great teacher, as you all know. He had national champions, Charlotte Gliding and Carolyn Cadone, who were on the Curtis Cup team representing the United States against Great Britain. And Billy Deere, locally, was one of the finest amateurs, I think, in New Jersey history. And he was also his pupil. I used to shag balls for Billy when Dad was giving him a lesson. And I could have just set the bag on the ground because the balls were landing so close. And I wondered, why does he keep taking lessons? And also somebody like Carolyn. I mean, I grew up with this, and I couldn't understand. They were such fine players. And Carolyn told me one day, she said, just to keep what I have, I keep taking lessons. Instead of trying to work on my own swing, I let your dad do it. And she's still playing great golf. I was going to go by my notes, but I think I'll just keep going the way I'm going. At Shakamaxie, when I grew up, I remember all these great players coming out there and giving exhibitions. Horton Smith and late horse Harry Cooper and Jimmy Thompson. And they came out on a driving range and they demonstrated how to hit golf balls. And one would hook it, and one would slice it on purpose, and they would make the ball do all kind of tricks. And then they said, I want to see the best hit them. And they asked my dad to get up and hit them. And I just can't say enough about him. But he was also a great player. He played the tour, the early tour. He represented the state well, and I know a lot of you fellows know him. Jack Mitchell knew of his playing ability, and he represented himself well. He won a tour tournament, and he was always up there among the winners. I think he placed 8th in the National Open one year. So he could play. He set a lot of course records around, and I have people come up to me telling me what a fine teacher he was, and also what a fine gentleman he was. And that was more important to me. So behind every great man is a woman. And I know he's going to choke up. But Millie was that woman. And she let me play golf when I was co-pro at the Knoll. And she watched the shop. And I know she doesn't want to be known as someone that was stuck in the shop all the time. she played on the New Jersey State Women's Golf Association, and she was a low handicapper, and she played very well. We were lucky to win the Metropolitan mother and son, and it was all up to her because she used to say to me, "Don't be afraid of those little short putts, just knock them in." So when I lost her, then I can't putt anymore. Mom, you're the best. And I was lucky to be blessed with a great dad and a great mother. And also my dad, the thing that I owe him most was passing on his love for the game to me and to his grandsons and to his family. And I have my son Danny and my son John sitting at the table over there. He got him started. I couldn't get him playing golf, and he just said, "You guys got to play golf. That's the game." And also Father Leo, I see him sitting there, and he was a club champion at Shacklemaxon. And then he got into a better game. Father, it's nice to have you here. I think at this time I'm supposed to present the plaque to my mother, or yours, Mom, would you come up? She's never been at a loss for words that I've ever known of, but you would like to say a couple words, Mom?
Yes. First of all, this is the first PGA meeting I ever attended. I think I came in a little too early, but it's all right. I enjoyed it very much. I remember the PGA when it started. Dan, Jim Danty, and a few other fellows started it in Pal's Cabin. It's come a long ways. I think at that time there was only a handful of fellows. Look at you now. A couple hundred or so, I guess. Well, I'm overwhelmed and very, very nervous. And I appreciate this very, very much. It's a great New Jersey PGA. Thank you.
I was afraid there that she was going to invite you all down to Pal's Cabin for dinner. Thanks again, fellas, and I'm very proud to be up here accepting it for a great club.
Again, this larger plaque of Danny Williams Sr. will go alongside the rest in Pal's Cabin. Hold on for just a second. I'd like you to think about, after hearing the records and what these men have accomplished, I have to just get my notebook here, but then I am going to take nominations for the 1987 Hall of Fame awards. Just a moment.